If you've thought about creating an expert world in LEGO Fortnite, but are worried about the risk of losing it forever, then stick around as I share the tips I use to ensure I'm never in a situation that risks losing my world. Whether you're new to LEGO Fortnite, have already lost an expert world, or you're a seasoned player, I'm sure you'll find a few of these tips useful. One of the first decisions you need to make when creating a new world in LEGO Fortnite is what game mode you want to play in. Ranging from sandbox mode, where you can focus on having fun without the need to collect resources or avoid pesky enemies, up to expert mode, where everything is at its most difficult and you only have one life and risk being locked out of your world forever if you die. Besides being the most challenging, Expert also grants you rewards you're not able to earn in any other mode, like the Storm King, Brute, and Golem trophies. I don't know how many days I've survived in my world, because the only way to find out is to die. But I've been playing in expert mode almost exclusively since it was released last June, and I've died hundreds of times, from the Storm King, to Brutes and Bears, to fall damage, and glitches and game crashes. And I've come up with a set of rules that I follow to ensure I never get locked out of my world. There is no secret trick to stop you from losing your world. You just need to have a Totem of Return equipped when you die. But if you don't plan ahead, this may be easier said than done. My survival plan is broken down into 5 fundamental rules. The first of which is obvious. Always have a Totem of Return equipped. I make a habit of checking that my totem is equipped the moment I log into my world, just to make sure I didn't do something stupid and remove it. I also regularly look for the Totem Return symbol when I'm checking my hunger level or hearts, just to ensure it's equipped, especially before I head out to explore or hunt for resources. Make sure that you place your Totem Return in either the second or third charm spot, and never in the first one. This is because if you have another charm in your inventory, with no open charm spots, and you equip it, you will automatically replace whatever charm is in the first spot. If that happens to be your Totem of Return, you may have just inadvertently unequipped it. I always leave mine in the third spot. The only time you should end up without a Totem of Return equipped is for the few seconds it takes you to equip a new one after you die. Other than those few seconds, without exception, you need to make sure you always have one equipped, even in the safety of your village. You never know when the game will glitch or you slip and fall to your death. Also, be aware of the Totem of Immortality. This charm will save your life and looks almost identical to the Totem of Return, but it will only do it once and it will leave you in the same dangerous situation that killed you. I prefer to never use it, but if you do, make sure you also have a Totem of Return equipped, as it is not a replacement. My second rule is to prioritize farming materials for crafting extra totems, especially early on in the start of a world. You don't want to find yourself spawning back in your village without any backup totems and you're forced to hunt creatures without one. Storm cores, wolf claws, thread, and shells should take top priority over anything else until you have several spare totems in your village. In the grasslands, these are easy to collect without much risk. Get yourself a shield, a bow, and a villager to support you, and make sure you battle from a distance until you can craft some better weapons and charms. Rare totems will give you a couple more hearts, but the common totem is just as good when it comes to saving your world. Common or uncommon totems are cheaper to craft, and unless you're going up against a Storm King where a couple extra hearts can make a difference, I wouldn't worry about trying to hunt bears in order to craft a rare totem. This could be a risky move and cost you more totems than you get in return. On the positive side, gathering enough resources to craft Totems of Return is only a challenge early on in your world. By the time you get a couple villages up to level 10, you should have enough resources for a bunch of totems, unless you die a lot. My third rule is never leave the safety of your village without at least one backup Totem of Return in your inventory. This ensures that if you die while exploring, you won't be stuck in the wild trying to get back to safety without a totem. If you use the last backup totem in your inventory, you should postpone whatever you're working on and head back to your village to collect some backups. The only exception I make to this rule is when I'm fast traveling between my villages or I'm feeding Colombo some snacks. I'll sometimes leave the backup totem behind in order to maximize space for resources. but there's a low risk of dying as I'm always within the safety of a village or Colombo's Island, and I still have my active Totem of Return equipped. Rule number 4 is to never leave your character in a sketchy location. Whether you're getting a snack, or going to the bathroom, or heading back to the lobby, make sure you're somewhere safe where nothing can attack you while you're away. This ensures you never log back into a surprise encounter or get attacked while you're in the kitchen. After playing for a while, you'll learn where it's safe to go AFK for a minute or two, and there are lots of options. But until you're very comfortable with your world, I would suggest you always head back to your village where there are less threats and the villagers will protect you. If you're at all unsure, it's better to back out to the lobby than risk leaving your character unattended. If there are no villages or safe places nearby, you can either carry enough resources to build a bus station or find one that is close by. This way, you can fast travel back to safety before leaving your game unattended. You can then quickly return to where you left off, and it helps you offload resources as you fill up your inventory. One last thing to consider when going AFK is your hunger level. If you only have a few hearts and are hungry, you may end up starving to death before the game kicks you for inactivity. You can prevent this by having your character eat a snack before you go have your own snack, and by equipping a regeneration charm to keep your hearts topped up. My final rule is to only set your spawn point in a safe location, where there's no risk of being attacked, such as a village or a secure area. If you're out exploring and want to sleep through the night, make sure you immediately destroy your bed the moment you wake up. As much as I like the ability to skip the scary stuff in the dark, the downside is that it also makes that location your new spawn point in the event you die. This could be a huge issue if you end up respawning a long ways from where you want to be, or you just happen to wake up next to a brute. I always break my bed immediately after waking up in the wild. Once you destroy your bed, your new respawn point will default to your world spawn location. If you happen to create your first village here, then you'll spawn back in a safe spot. If you don't have a village at your world spawn point, then you can do something like I did and build a small fortress around it so that when I respawn, I'm sheltered from the outside world. I've also added a chest and a spare Totem of Return, and some essentials, so that no matter how I ended up there, I'll have everything I need to survive. This is also nice for anyone that joins your world for the first time, as they'll also spawn into a safe spot with everything they need. If you're starting a new world, it's a good idea to mark this spot right away so you can find it again. If you don't know where it is, you may need to break your existing spawn bed and plan a death so you can locate it and fortify it. A couple bonus tips to help you out in your Expert World journey are to make sure that you have visual sound turned on. This allows you to see nearby threats, usually before you can even hear them. Recruit a villager and give them a good weapon. They may prevent you from dying in battle, or revive you if you get knocked down, saving you a totem. As soon as you can, build a gem cutter and get your villagers pumping out gems. These allow you to craft the best weapons by far, making your life so much easier. Check out my video on how to easily gather brute scales without much risk, as you'll need these to craft the gem cutter. Star Wars caves in the grasslands are a great place to get resources early on, because once you defeat the Empire forces, they won't respawn again, allowing you to mine the cave in peace. And lastly, once you're strong enough to take on the Storm Dungeon, you'll find that the 4th level you may encounter Storm Wild Bears. This is a great way to easily gather pelts for the rare Totem of Return. Build a platform a couple levels above the bears so they can't get you, and take out the first 2 bears. Gather up their pelts and then return to the 3rd level before going back down. This will reset the level and give you another 3 bears to defeat. You can keep doing this for as long as you have crossbows and arrows to attack. LEGO Fortnite can be a little glitchy, and I can't guarantee that you won't lose your world for something that is out of your control. But by following these rules, I've managed to survive every possible way of dying. From drowning, falling through builds, starving myself to death while stuck in a wall, glider glitches, and getting killed more times than I can count from lag while battling the Storm King. Each time, I know that I'll always respawn in a safe spot, far from danger, and that I have a backup Totem of Return available to equip within seconds. I hope this can help you avoid tragedy and take away some of the stress of expert mode and allow you to earn the extra rewards that come with it. Let me know in the comments if you have any other tips or tricks you use to keep your world safe. If you've made it this far, I would really appreciate a like and your subscription. And if you're purchasing anything from the item shop and you want to support me, it would be great if you use my creator code, GrindGeek. Thanks for watching, and remember, grind smarter, not harder.